checking in for it daily. Most of the thought giving you respect for teamwork. You will not get anywhere. Teach you how to rise to the occasion, folks. What do we teach? What do we teach? What the hell do you teach then? We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. Top 5 Tuesday, another Top 5 Tuesday, I believe, what is the second one for February, second Top 5 Tuesday for the month of February, staying along with our theme of how to achieve that American dream. You know, yesterday on the Make Your Move Monday kickoff question, defined what the American dream actually is and how it's available for all people. Today, we're taking it to another step and telling you how you can get there regardless of your starting point, regardless of where you started. You're going to get the American dream if you are willing to put in the work, right? If you will do these five things that I'm going to give you guys today, if you are willing to do all 5 of them, and whenever, again, these aren't like in sequential order, but all 5 of them is going to be required of you at some point or the other. You never know when it's going to happen, but you have to have all 5, be willing to jump into all 5, all right? So very first thing, the top five things to do and to have in your arsenal, to have in regards to how you adjust, have in regards to how you operate to achieve that American dream. Here we go. And again, as always, on Tuesdays, I'll do a deeper dive on all these points in the live stream. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this out to anyone that needs, particularly those business owners that struggle with turnover, right? First things first, you've got to grow the fuck up. It's not an easy thing. You have got to grow the fuck up. You got to grow up. You cannot continuously live in the past. Now, here's what I mean. I don't mean forget the past. I don't mean not take the lessons and the things that you picked up from the past, all of those things, but you got to grow out of that bullshit. You got to grow up and move on from the past in terms of growing and developing. I'm telling you, and I'll do a deeper dive on this later on. But there's nothing more disheartening to me than seeing the young people that I work with every day, you know, taking steps back and making the same damn mistakes that they were making when they were in first grade and dealing with the same problems. That's disheartening. You got to grow up and you got to teach it from young. All right, that's number 1. Number 2 and 3 kind of go together. You got to have the right support, and then 3 is the right people. Support, real support. You got to know what real support is. And when I say the reason that they're separated is because support can come from a total stranger if it's being honest, if they're giving you an honest, objective view about what it is they're seeing and saying this won't work, this will work, right? So you got to have that kind of support. But then in the second, and kind of the response to that is making sure the right people are around you to give you the correct support. This is why it's important that you have 2 and 3 together, kind of put together. The right support with the right people. Understand there's a difference. When you feel that the right support, and that right support can come from a total stranger. Again, I'm come from the sports world, come from the football background. When you get that coach that's up in your ass and not just telling you what you want to hear, but really up in your ass, telling you how you need to be getting better, telling you to look like an ass, that's a total stranger, right? But he's teaching you, he or she is teaching you, hey, these are the kind of people you need in your life so you can continuously get better. Not the bullshitters that are just going to kind of hand you and give you the stuff that you want. Many of you that are listening to me right now, that's coming in the form of a significant other. Right now, I just described your significant other. I just described your spouse. You picked the person because of how comfortable they made you feel. You picked the person because they made you feel comfortable at the time. And now you're stuck with a person that you don't want to be with, that's not getting you better. And you're wondering why you're not progressing with this particular person. All right. Because they didn't give you the hard, honest truth and the right support. That's what's happened to a lot of people. All right. So that's 2 and 3. Number 4, you got to keep an open mind. All right, you got to keep an open mind. Hear me on this one. This one's big because it really is what created this topic today. When you see all the things that happen around the Super Bowl and kind of the people that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, there are folks out there who are so stuck in their own ways, so stuck in their own mindset that they benefit keeping you back. They have a significant their benefits and the things that they want to do with their life and the things that make them quote comfortable, quote unquote, are to keep you from knowing certain things, to keep you of a certain mindset. So you got to be clear of those. You got to keep an open mind. And then number 5, you got to take all of that and create an internal honesty within yourself. Number 5 is internal honesty. Be very honest about what is a dream, what is an absolute, what is the American dream for you in your situation, based on, again, did you grow? Based on, did you keep the right people around you? Based on the real support, based on how open-minded you've been throughout your trials and tribulations, and then you can develop an honest dream to go out and achieve these great things. That's the way it works. All right. So the American dream is available to everybody that's willing to put in the work, but you got to understand what your starting point is. And again, I'll do a deeper dive and give you some examples of this in the live stream. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this out to anybody that needs to hear it. Main website to check out to dive deeper into all the work I do, all things employee development. It's makeyourmove.com. It's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Good morning, good afternoon, good you fill in the blank, whatever time of day it may be. Consuming this evergreen material. Let me just reintroduce myself to anybody that is new around here again. Like I just said in the video, my name is One Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 6-time published author and educator. I created this whole business, this whole brand that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field, applying them to businesses and business owners so they have a staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently, as coherently, as passionately as a championship high school or youth football team. And as you heard, we're diving this week into the American dream. The American dream as a person that built the business off the lessons I've learned on the football field. It's always an interesting time of year. It's definitely timely as Super Bowl ends. We got a week away. We got this week, we got Valentine's Day coming up, and we got President's Day coming up. So there's all sorts of what's the American dream, to be happy, to be married, and a bunch of kids, and the white picket fence, and all that kind of stuff. What is the American dream, right? What is actually the American dream when it comes to how you operate? When you think about it, you could just drop American period and just start and just say, what is the actual dream? Because very few of you actually have been asked what your dream is, and are you going after it? Or is there a roadmap to get you there? Is there like a GPS? Do you put dreams in the GPS? You put dreams in the GPS and get there. As you can see me, I have break the cycle on it every single day. Break the cycle, break the things that I have seen coming up and just do better, do better. That's what I've been put on this earth to do. So before I get too deep into the weeds on that, let me just again reemphasize. If you are interested in hearing more about what we do from an employee development standpoint, all of that is available on makeyourmove.com. It's MAKEYAMOVE.com. All the information that you may need on me is right there. You can see what I speak about, and make sure you go pick up a copy of the newest book, How to Be a Wintrepreneur, which is one of those evergreen books that's going to keep going and keep giving and keep going and keep going. Or get a copy of all of the other ones that I have written. All right. So all that being said, we are picking it back up from yesterday. Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 ways to achieve the American dream, no matter your starting point. All right, no matter your starting point, because I could already hear it. I could already sense the excuses that come out of most of the time. It's the woke left mob, but it's pretty much just anybody, period, that is filled with excuses. It doesn't matter what your political stance is or who you believe in. When you are just filled with a bunch of bullshit excuses, all you are going to figure out is how to not go after your dreams, not how. You're going to figure out ways or excuses not to go after the things that you really desire, the things that you really want, because that's the way folks are wired who don't go after things. Who've gotten so used to settling for the status quo, settling for the things that have been made and put right in front of them. You just simply settle your ass there, and you never actually go after anything that you want. All right. So it's not about whether you're right, left from a political standpoint. It's all about your mentality and how do you operate on a day-to-day basis? How do you operate on a day-to-day basis? What do you go out and seek? Because what you're going to go out and see, what you go and seek, you will get. Eventually, you will get. You're not going to like the answer, right? A lot of times, you're not going to like the answer, but you will get the things that you actually go out and seek. So that's why you got to go out and seek good things and seek positive things so you get the stuff back that you need. All right. So picking it up from yesterday, Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 ways to achieve the American dream, no matter the start point. And as you heard, I gave a little snippet of it this morning. And that this topic, if you weren't here yesterday, I'll kind of re-emphasize. This topic came from an interview that I watched with our Vice President J.D. Vance, when he did an interview with Megyn Kelly this week. And it took me back to about a year and a half ago, where this was the first time I ever heard J.D. Vance's name. And, the interview that popped up when I was doing my own research on who I should be voting for and which side I should be leaning with. And by the way, if you guys don't know, I am a centrist, a proud centrist, a very proud centrist, where I'll be doing an article on that tomorrow. But when it came to Vice President J.D. Vance, the first interview that popped up was the one in 2017 with him and Megyn Kelly. I can't play it here because I don't want to get demonetized. But with the one with him and Megyn Kelly, he was talking about his troubled past and the things that he's lived through. And to hear that, I gained a ton of respect for him. And then to see them two now, one has her own platform that's doing really well, and he has, obviously being the vice president, and they're interviewing each other. It was amazing to see. What was even more rewarding to see, I'll start off this story why I chose this picture by telling you, yes, I am a absolute diehard, psychotic Michigan Wolverines fan, to the point where I thought about not voting for him because of what he said at the RNC when it comes to how big of an Ohio State fan he is. Okay. I am a diehard Michigan fan, but there's no denying that a year ago when we actually beat them again, when they had one loss, when Ohio State had one loss on their record during their national championship run, they had two losses, but one of them they actually avenged. One of them, so they lost to Oregon and then they beat Oregon in the playoffs. But there was one loss that they just couldn't avenge that year. It was to the Michigan Wolverines, right? Anyway, they won the championship. They were the best team that year. The year after, we won a national championship. And they obviously, as national champions, you take your trip to the White House. And at this point, J.D. Vance is in office. So for him to be an Ohio guy, be an Ohio State guy, a diehard Ohio State guy, and to have his team win the championship, come and, make the visit and all that, and then this kid, Travion Henderson, he actually just finished playing in the Super Bowl. He plays for the New England Patriots now, and he's been kind of their main back. Again, rookie, and has had a decent rookie year. But to know that the game of football, because this is what I've been hearing. This is what I've been hearing throughout the end. I want to make sure I'm on camera. So I might have to clip this one out. To hear people talk bullshit about how the game of football is separating us because of halftime performances, I have to do my part and show you that it is not, that is absolutely false. The game of football is meant to bring us together. As you can see, that's a young man who played at Ohio State, a current vice president who's a huge Ohio State fan, and they're doing some major things. That's what the game is meant to build. That's what the game is meant to show. That's what the game is meant to mold. It's meant to mold two people together from different backgrounds, regardless of your ethnicity, color, whatever it is, so we can go out and achieve great things. That's what the game is doing. But again, the media pundits and the propagandists out there, they love to see shit separated. We're going to actually, that brings me right into what we're going to talk about today. So yesterday on Make Your Move Monday, we asked a simple question. People love to argue about, but rarely sit with, right? What is the American dream? Not the hashtag version, not the halftime show version, not the version packaged by media outlets that quietly teaches people to excuse stagnation. The American dream is not comfort. It's not fairness. It's not aesthetics. It's movement. It's the ability to start somewhere difficult and still build forward. That's why this is the theme of the week. Watching the story of Vice President J.D. Vance, especially his 2017 interview, long before power was guaranteed, makes one thing painfully clear. Your starting point is not your excuse. It's your reason. Your starting point is not your excuse. It's your reason. Your starting point is not your excuse. It's your reason. It's your reason. All right. I wanted to make sure that hits. It's not your fucking excuse where you started. It's your reason. Where you started is the reason. There's a difference, folks. There's a difference when it comes to actually making things your reason versus your excuse. I get so fucking tired of hearing excuses all day. I hear it all day from adults. I hear it all fucking day. Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. Start making things your reason. Where you came from, what you're about, what your whole mentality, what drives you, what puts that battery in your back. That's your reason. That's your reason to go after what it is you want to go after, right? It's not your excuse. It's your reason. Where you come from, where you started with, that's your reason. So the media will pump you, and I sort of already mentioned this, but the media will pump you full of bullshit narratives that frame your current situation as a permanent condition instead of a temporary phase. Don't buy it. So let's get into it. What's the top 5 ways
So we get out of that mentality that the media would love, and they love to push that shit on you. They love to have those excuses. First things first, you see it right there on the screen. You gotta grow the fuck up. Again, excuse my French on this particular this particular one, but this is a story, or this is a topic that you need a couple F bombs just to emphasize my point. But I'm gonna work on it. Gotta grow the F word up. Grow the F word up. Okay. Yes, I said it. If you want the American dream, you need to grow the F word up. All right. I work with kids all day. I'm around kids all day. Kids and females all day that are observing me more than probably any male that they have in their life. Constantly being observed by women and children all day. And maybe one if I'm thinking about it now, I can't, maybe one of the women that I work with all day is married. All right. So very few of them are in any real fulfilling relationships. And again, the reason that the school was built was for the kids who are struggling and struggling with their academic scores. And most of the reasons that you point to is lack of a male figure in the household. So yes, I'm getting observed on a different scale every single day, which is why, again, I can speak on this from a standpoint of I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you directly when it comes to the excuse making. You can't be making excuses. You don't get that luxury. All right. So work with kids all day, and there's nothing more disheartening. Here's the thing about it. All right. There's nothing more disheartening than watching older kids who I've known at this point, I've known for damn near 4 years, move backward, making the same mistakes. Again, I go from dealing with a kindergarten classroom to right into a damn 5th grade classroom. And if I'm in a 5th grade classroom making the same correction that I'm giving a kindergartner, that's on us. That's a failure on us. That's a failure on us as adults. It's a failure on the people that are watching. It's a failure on something we're doing wrong. That is not okay. That is not okay. Okay. And you have to catch it early enough to tell a young person this is not okay. Because unfortunately, if you don't get it told, you get adults who grow up and do the same bullshit. Grow up. The first thing you have got to do if you want to achieve the American dream, you got to grow the fuck up. Plain and simple. All right. No, kindergarten, I kind of already stepped on this point, but kindergartens with more emotional maturity, high school is stuck in middle-age logic. And I know exactly what's behind it. It's the adults who refuse to grow up themselves. So what they're modeling is the things that they refuse to grow up themselves. Adults who normalize the stagnation, adults who teach excuses over accountability. JD Vance, again, is this who inspired today's this week's theme. JD Vance is on camera saying let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Never Trump. Yep. Sorry. Let me pull it up real quick. Yep. Yep. You see it right there. Okay. He once at one point compared. Let's go with this. All right. Yep. At one point. He was a never Trumper, a person that would never rock with him. And now they are running the country together. If our politicians and our leaders can do this, you can too. You can move on from whatever some bullshit somebody did to you. Somebody said this or said that. This is why, again, I'm happy they're in office, because you have leadership and people that don't take the things that are water under the bridge and all that. And they're willing to grow and they're willing to work together for the betterment of the people. That's how you grow, man. All right. So now JD Vance was a never Trumper. Now he and Donald Trump are running the country together. Me personally, and this is where I use examples of my own life. Currently, let me actually move the camera on me directly. I'm currently speaking as of February of 2020, February 10th of 2026. I am currently running a business. I'm telling you personally, it's a personal story now. I am running a business with a girl that I swore to God I would never talk to again, and told me to go F-word myself and said never talk, had me blocked for years. We were absolutely not on speaking terms for years, and we are now running a business together, a lucrative business. All right. The woman who once told me to never speak to her again, and I swear I'd never reach out or look her up again either. We've had that conversation over and over. It comes up every single time we have a conversation. That's growth. You don't get the American dream by staying emotionally frozen in old versions of yourself. You outgrow your bullshit, or you stay exactly where you are, period. That right there can save a whole lot of you right now. Let me open it up. That right there, this last paragraph can save a whole lot of you right now. I'm currently running. This is shit I'm telling you right now. I'm going through. Currently running a business with a woman who once told me never speak to her again. And pull up those messages if I wanted to. I don't have her permission, obviously. I don't even have permission to say her real name. Yeah, we haven't gotten there. I have to give her a fight today. And I swear I'd never reach out to her or look her up again. That's growth. You don't get the American dream by staying emotionally frozen in old versions of yourself. You outgrow your bullshit or you stay exactly where you are. Period, point blank, end of sentence. All right. That right there leads me into number 2 and number 3 are kind of together in this sense. They're first thing. Support. All right. Support by, I say support meaning there's, all right. Well, I'll read it directly from the article so that way you have an understanding of what I mean when I say support. All right. Support, real support is uncomfortable. This is where race hustlers and the woke leftists and absolutely ruin kids. Right? I want this one clear for you guys to hear. The race hustlers out there and the woke leftists, they ruin kids with this support bullshit that they throw because they use it in the wrong context and they're really fucking good at it. They're really good at it. Okay? They really are some of the best people. Like they're just damn good as race hustlers who wants black-owned business and you got to support your people. And you got fuck the fact that is the product actually work or not? Nah, you just got to support your people, right? Okay. And the actual product isn't have to help though, but because it's a black owned, I gotta buy it. Okay. This is kind of the sentiment and the direction that race hustlers will take you. Race hustlers and woke leftists absolutely ruin kids because they redefine support as applause. That's not support. Support is something saying that product won't sell. Them saying that the product won't sell and your product is shit. That is actually more supportive than someone that's going to bullshit you and pay for it once and never pay for it again, right? That idea isn't ready. You're wasting your energy right now. These are the things that real supportive people will say to you because they love you too much to see you fail, all right? Even me personally, right? Even me personally, and what I've lived through, here's what real support is. So I've pushed back the print release on so this book right here, let me pull it up on the screen real quick so you can see it. There it is. All right. So this book right here, the latest book, number 6, How to Be a Wintrepreneur. It was supposed to be out coming into this month. The print releases are going to be out going into March Madness. But I pushed back the print release of my latest book, How to Be a Wintrepreneur, after reading an email. I got an email from another author about how ChatGPT is changing the game for writers. Right? Read that email and I realized, you know what, you're right. As ChatGPT is coming into its own, you got to switch up the way you edit. You got to switch up the kind of books you put out there. If you're going to put out some print books, there's got to be some sort of an attachment to it. There got to be something more because ChatGPT is able to create certain flyers. They're able to create certain things that are going to make it so you can attract your right audience. So let me push back a little bit. Let me get some more articles out there. Let me make sure I'm developing and continuing to build out my audience and then drop the book, the print version of the book, when again it's ready. That's real support. I don't know this person that I got the email from. I just read the title and I realized, you know what, that's something I need to read. Maybe it's something I signed up for when I put my email in because I'm always interested in development and things like that. That's what happened. That's what I mean when I say support. Right? It wasn't easy, but it was honest. Real support leads to uncomfortable conversations. Again, comfortable conversations, whether you're reading it via email or you're having the conversation directly, and smarter moves, not emotional validation. All right, that's what this is what the race hustlers do. They seek emotional validation. If everyone around you always agrees with you, you're not supported. You're not supported. You're coddled. That's you. That's you. Talking to you. That's you guys. Let me put the camera on. If everyone around you is always supporting you, is always, let me read it directly. So always agree. If everyone around you always agrees with you, if everyone around you is always agreeing with you, if everyone around you is always agreeing with you, you're not being supported. You're being fucking coddled. That's you. You're being coddled. Got it? You're being coddled. You are not being supported if everyone is agreeing with you. Now, get some people around you that's going to throw you some pushback and you get to go back and forth. That's being supported because now you know you're having a real dialogue. But if everyone is agreeing with you, I'm looking directly at the camera when I'm telling you this, you are being coddled. And that's the majority of you motherfuckers. You got to stop that shit. You got to get away from it, period. Got it? So If everyone agrees with you, you're not being supported, you're being coddled. The right people. Number 3. Here's number 3. The right people. You need the right people around you. Yes, I hear it too. The right people. No, I'm not a Republican. All right, I am not a Republican. I'm a centrist. All right. Why? Because results and getting shit done are the only things that matter to me. Let's look up the definition of a centrist, because I'm a proud centrist. Centrist, meaning heavy, moderate political views or policy. Person who holds moderate political views, who just plain and simple, what do the results say? What do the results say? Why? Because results, getting shit done are the only things that matter to me. That's why I actually looked at substance, not slogans. All right. I saw far more in myself. Like when I hear JD Vance speak, I see more of myself. I really do. This is saying a lot. This is really saying a whole lot, because the running mates and the people that he was up against just last year, one had a father that was Caribbean, and the other one was a high school football coach. But I saw so much of myself when I hear a JD Vance speak, and you got your own book, you doing your thing, you out there speaking, you doing your thing, and this thing that he has for Indian women, I have something similar. I'll just put that out there as well. But when I didn't have that same thing when it came to Walton Harris. So the decision wasn't emotional for me. It was observational. The right people don't protect your feelings. They sharpen your execution. If you circle rewards, if your circle rewards complaining more than progress, your dream will die right there. All right. So that's like I said, 2 and 3 go together, because one is an actual action. It's an actual action in terms of what the support is, like me reading that email. And the other one, number 3, is just having the right people around you that are going to create those actions. So I got to kind of separate them between the right people and the actual right action that you take. All right. So number 4, keeping an open mind. All right. So this one hit me last week. Yeah. So wait, I think I missed 4. Don't worry about it. I missed 3. But yeah, you guys got the point. So I kind of skipped 3 on the thing, but don't worry about it. Number 4, we get right into number 4. So number 4 is keeping an open mind. All right. This sounds easy. It's not, because this is what I started alluding to yesterday. There's a reason why this is the 4th, right before the final step. And it's one of those things where you could get really blindsided by it if you're not careful. You don't see it and nobody tells you about it. You can get blindsided by this very thing I'm getting ready to tell you right now. This very story that I'm getting ready to take, because you're young, right? Younger people are usually the most susceptible to it. And then as you get older, you get so stuck in your ways that you don't even realize yourself what you're doing and how you're actually taking from people as opposed to building people up, right? So keeping an open mind. This is hard as hell. It sounds easy. It's not, because there are people, hear me on this point right here. There are people that benefit deeply from keeping things exactly the same. And their mission is to get everyone around them to think the way they do. Here's a real example. This is just last week. All right. So last week, one of the high school, for what I'm a site supervisor for an organization that is pays high schoolers to come and mentor young kids. You take that job very seriously. Love it. Love doing it. Love, seeing high schoolers come into their own and, really kind of getting with them about navigating life and all that kind of stuff. Right. So last week, one of those high school mentors I supervised was having a solid conversation with another adult about investing. Now, I was overhearing their conversation. This particular adult that he was speaking to, I don't rock with him. I don't like him particularly. Let me not say, but I can't stand his ass. I can't fucking stand his ass. But at the end of the day, we're both men, and we both have the ability to keep our disagreements and our issues away from work stuff. And that's just the way it is with me and him. Can't stand his ass. Can't stand him. All right, can't stand him. I'm sure he feels the same way about me. Totally fine. That's just the way work is going to be when it comes to just how you go about doing your work every day. That's fair. But anyway, I was overhearing him speak to the high school mentor. Just overhearing him. He was talking about investing and said buy low and build high. Good stuff. Conversations that he and I used to have together. But again, I don't rock with him. And I love the fact that he was having that conversation with the high school mentor. That was a great thing. And at first, like I said, it was good, productive, informative. And as I'm overhearing, I'm like, all right, good. That's a good thing. Something that I'm a lot of high school kids need to hear, Then the thing that drives me absolutely insane about this individual, like clockwork, because I knew it was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up like clockwork. He couldn't help himself. So he's talking. Let me just kind of paint the picture for you guys. He's talking to this high school kid, and he blurts out, he's teaching him about investing. And he blurts out, yeah, well, when Trump does something, when Trump says something stupid, then, the whole market goes down and he ruins this and he ruins it. Very just like, as good as the thing as he's doing for the kid, now he got to interject his own political views into this young high school kid and then try to keep him in a sense of not growing. That is an opinion that you made. All right. There's no factual evidence that when Trump says something, then a bunch of markets go. There's not a fact that happens, or there's no fact that that's the reason. But you got to interject it. Right? So this was his specific words. When Trump says something stupid, then the market goes down. And again, like I said in the article, maybe there's some truth in that statement. It's possible if you really want to do the research, or it's waste of time doing the research into that. But that's not the point. The danger is interjecting politics into spaces that should be about thinking, learning, and decision making, especially when it's framed as a fact instead of an opinion, because that's what it was. This is an opinion. This is not a fact. All right. What makes it worse is the hypocrisy. I've had to sit through coworkers, including that same person, complaining when a student might have overheard me say that I voted for Trump. I've had to sit there and have them look at me like I'm doing something foul or I'm interjecting my own views. When again, this is the man who does it all the time. So let's be clear. That's not education. That's selective tolerance. This right here is big because just like the race hustlers, they're really good at this. They're really, really good at this. All right. When it comes to keeping an open mind, they don't do this. They're selective when it comes to what they tolerate, and it's going to be based on what they want. And that's exactly how open minds get replaced with rehearsed opinions. Hear me on this one. Rehearsed opinions. That means that if you talk to your typical Democrat, they're going to just simply spit out the same talking points over and over and over again. The reason Kamala lost that election because anybody that uses their common sense hears she's saying the same fucking thing in every single interview. Even the people that voted for her couldn't even deny it. Like, God damn. Don't you got one original thought? No, not goddamn. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be saying goddamn. I'm not supposed to be saying God. My apologies. Gosh darn it. Okay. You saying the same damn thing? I mean, that's crazy. All right. So, and then all that being said, so an open mind is about agreeing with you. It's about learning how to evaluate information, not being trained on what to repeat. All right. That one's big. That was a huge one because you got to catch that shit early, man. So number 5, finally, the biggest one, internal honesty. Because you go 1 through 4. The internal honesty has got to be ticking, man. It's got to be ticking. It's got to be ticking hard. You got to understand that the internal honesty is the only thing that matters. All right. So it's the most important one. If you want the American dream, you need to take a daily inventory of your life and acts. Am I growing or just aging? Am I supported or am I just surrounded? Supported or surrounded? Big one. A lot of you run into that problem too. Am I open or just loud? Am I honest or just defensive? Because here's the truth. If you're not doing these things, the results will tell on you. Every time, no exceptions. Bottom line is the American dream is still alive, but it does not respond to excuses, narratives, or outrage. It responds to growth, support the right people, open minds, and brutal internal honesty. Your starting point was never your disadvantage. It was your assignment. Tomorrow we build again. That's it. That's just the mentality. All right. So again, if you're more serious, if you want to achieve that American dream, you want to go and build, you want to go do some great things. Again, main website to check out to dive deeper into all of that work is makeyoumove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. Be sure to go to As1C to book a meeting with me directly, and we can go from there. All things employee development. And again, like, comment, subscribe, share this out. This is what we do. We're taking off. As you can see, shout out to the new subscribers. We are taking off. We're going to levels that you are unforeseen this 2026. What you're going to fix in 2026. All right. So all that being said, as one per check, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.